Hey, what's up, TikTok? I decided to pop up on TikTok in order to explain something, not because I'm required to explain, but just because I choose to. Here's another life lesson. Some people think I moved to California because they thought that I was moving to California to chase after someone, a person. And to that, I say no. It was not my intention or purpose to move to California in order to specifically chase after a person. I moved to California after about 2 years of considering relocating. I actually was considering another state as well as other countries, considering positions as far as a professor, research, groundbreaking work, especially with like Aboriginal people to provide the support necessary within the field of mental health regarding reducing trauma, reducing substance use, and in order to implement some research at the same time. And to just relocate and live in a nice area where it was the majority of the year was warm or near the beach because I really like the water. I like the vibe of waking up to the ocean and the sounds of the ocean and just a fresh start because I was in a place where I appreciated, what my life had been up to that point, but I knew that I required greater space in order to continue to grow, to evolve, to develop as a person. And I was surrounded by a lot of relatives. I appreciate my family, so I'm not saying this from a negative standpoint, but it's interesting within particular dynamics considering culture, especially for those who understand culture. And when you're a female and you're surrounded by family, sometimes that can create a scenario or a situation. And then I'm also a female who is very, how do I say? I won't necessarily say picky, but I'm very selective with consideration of who I date and who I would consider to marry. I was taught growing up to make sure I was an independent woman. So I've always worked while going to school, maintained my own household, and paid my own bills. Even if I may have had a season where I was residing with someone else, I was still, carrying my own weight, paying bills, taking care of my responsibilities. So I'm used to a certain level of independence and making sure that I maintain a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food on the table, and pay for my own vacations. Like literally, I had friends in college who would get cars and vacations and homes, from their families because they were affluent people. I pay for my own vacations. I'm thankful that my mom was able to have a graduation party for all my sisters and I, my two sisters and I, at one time, which was very nice and something I will always remember. At the same time, she, for many years, was a single mother. And so when you grow up learning the importance of managing your own finances and making sure that you get what you want, of course, in a legal way, but because of your own sweat of your own brow, meaning because of the work that I put in, or because of the effort that I put forward, lends towards what I foresee having in my own life. So I'm not expecting to get married to some wealthy person who's going to take care of me. Like, I make my own money. I pay my own bills. I purchase my own properties. I pay for my own vacations. When I want my hair and my nails done, I pay for that. When I want facials or surgeries, I pay for that. Do you understand? So it's like, literally, I pay for everything that I want within my own life. I pay for it all. And so I don't do anything illegal. And I'm speaking to you all straightforward, straight up, flat out, literally. So when people are looking for somebody who is going to be dependent or to submit when I'm used to my own independence, I got to see the reason. I got to see a real valid reason. Like, I literally had people who were clients, and after they signed off on the dotted line talking about, oh, you my wife, and then trying to mess up my business in order to get with me, it's like, no, I'm going to maintain my business. I'm going to build my business. I'm going to make money. Because a relationship is not worth me sacrificing what I built. I'd rather say goodbye to a person than say goodbye to what I built. You understand? And so not everyone's necessarily like that. And I'm not saying that I'm not a hopeless romantic. I'm a hopeful romantic, but it's with the correct person. Like, I'm not giving up my own business, my own path, and flows of revenue. If anything, I would like to be with a partner where we can both enhance each other. I also literally don't want to be with someone who I have to carry, because then will I respect that person? You know? And respect is important in a relationship. I'm just saying. Trust, respect. Like, can somebody say something to me? You know what I mean? So, again, ultimately, when I moved to Cali, I did move so that I could meet different people other than my own relatives, but it wasn't for a particular person. Honest to God, it wasn't. So, just dispelling any sort of rumors, myths, even if it's one or two people, because I'm certain that through my story, someone else can resonate. I'm a millennial who is a go-getter, and I'm willing to put in the work and the effort to make things happen. You know, so for those who write their vision, write their goals, write their benchmarks, write their mission, and implement it on a daily basis, I say keep going. Because you know what? We're all here working to make our lives better, to have better quality of life than we did. I know what it's like to live on both sides of the track. I know what it's like to live on a bad side of town. And then I also know what it's like to live in bougie areas. People are people at the end of the day. And some of the people in the bougie areas are supplying the people in the bad sides of town with some of the stuff. I'm not going to go into no details, and ain't none of my business to be telling, you know what I'm saying? But the reality is that we're all trying to make our lives, working toward making our lives better than the life that we were given just by virtue of being birthed through our parents. And so here's to legacy. Here's to improving each generation. Spirit, soul, body, relationships, and finances. Okay? We all have an excellent day. And who's to say, a year from now, 2 years from now, y'all might be hearing from me literally from another country. We'll see. Because the way things are now, I'm not running away from the United States. But I'm about acquisition. So how much land can we get? All over the world. You understand? Have an excellent day.